All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT to another episode, ladies and gentlemen, of episode 6 of Two Ballers FC, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back after the international break. It's been a beautiful week, for many of us. This week, my guy Mike is not going to be miserable for a week. Love to see it. Obviously, today it's been a great day for me today. I did a successful hit along today as Madrid lost today to Liverpool. So you love to see that. But yeah, make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys turn on notifications, ladies and gentlemen. But Mike, talk to me, man. What did you think of today's games in the Champions League? Honestly, man.
Yeah, so I watched the same game as you. Obviously, I watched Liverpool Real Madrid.
Mhm.
Very boring, but it was just like you kind of expected it as soon as the game started. Like for me, like it was like Liverpool on top, and you could kind of see from the lineups as well. I know Liverpool ain't got the greatest of squad, but in terms of like depth, but at the same time they know when to change it, when not to change it. Like Conor Bradley made
Mm.
Mbappe look,
Bro, in
bro.
his
He made
back pocket.
Bro, that he little broed Mbappe. Like it was genuinely a ridiculous performance from Conor Bradley. Like I've not seen a youngster like as a right back. I've not seen a right back like be so natural in grown men football like this in a very long time from a Premier League club. Like he's been terrific ever since he came in, but he doesn't have many bad games, and he's only just getting started. And obviously,
Mhm.
regardless of what happens with Trent's future, Conor Bradley's going to be a great player for Liverpool. Whether it's still like him competing with Trent, or whether it's him instead of Trent, because like he has all the attributes to succeed defensively,
Mhm.
attacking wise, and all of that. And like just in general, when I saw that Real Madrid front three, I guess it's what they have to put out technically because of
I mean,
injuries and
but
stuff.
they could have started
Still,
Endrick
like
today, man.
yeah, they could have
Still.
started Endrick. They could have started Endrick, but like Arda Güler, Brahim Diaz, and Mbappe as your
Mm.
front three. I can't like even though I don't watch La Liga week in week out. Every time I've watched Mbappe for Real Madrid this season,
Oh,
oh my
bro,
god, it's been
dude,
stinky, bro.
he's stunk out. Like every Madrid fan, I obviously, I speak to Madrid fans. I watch La Liga, right? And
Mm.
dude, this guy, right? He has been so awful this season, and he's been talking so much. He's been saying, well, naturally I'm playing on the left, bro. You were playing on the left today, and you
Yeah,
were being pocketed, bro, not by Trent, by flipping Conor Bradley, bro. Like there was a point today, right, in the first half, where he literally went past him, and then Conor Bradley caught up to him. I'm like, bro, what is going on with this guy, bro? Like you're
yeah,
getting caught up, bro, by Liverpool's second choice right back.
yeah,
Like this is incredible. Like it's incredible. Listen, at the end of the day, it's what they deserve. I'm gonna be very, very
mm,
honest. They deserve this because at the end
mm,
of the day, Real Madrid, right? They did not go out there and deal with the problems, right? Because this
yeah,
is the thing. Any Madrid fan who you speak to will tell you there's been problems at Real Madrid. You understand what I'm saying, right? They did not replace Toni Kroos. They didn't go out there to get in a defensive midfielder. I'm sorry, Chouameni is not a defensive midfielder, right? Kamavinga, I rate him very highly, but he is not reliable. You understand what I'm saying, right? And the fact that they were persistent with these players, right? And because they brought in Mbappe, and everyone was kind of looking at them last season and saying, well, we are the same thing as we were last season. No, you're not. You've lost
mhm,
Hustle this season, and you've also lost Toni Kroos, who are two important players who are the reasons why you guys did so well last season in the Champions League. You understand what I'm saying, right? You don't have that. But they came into the season with all this hope. But now look at them. Like they've been
yeah,
exposed. Everybody now is seeing them for what they are. You understand what I'm saying, right? And
yeah,
listen, I'm enjoying this, man, because at the end of the day, I've heard so much talk from these Madrid fans, right? At the end of the day, you love to see it. But listen, at the end of the day, as far as Liverpool is concerned, congratulations to Liverpool. You know what I mean, right?
yeah,
And his slot, man, this guy is ridiculous, right, bro?
yeah, bro.
Like he's just arrived, right? Think about it, right? This man, he was he was obviously Liverpool's second choice. I don't care what anyone says. He was Liverpool's second choice. You understand what I'm saying, right? He's
Yeah,
top of the table comfortably, and so far in the Champions League, he's unbeaten. I think they've won every
mm,
game in the Champions League. They've
yeah, I
won
think
every
so.
game.
You got to think about the teams they've come up against as well. It's not an easy run of fixtures. They made Leverkusen look really bad. They
Leverkusen,
did they got
Milan,
Leipzig as
Real
well.
Madrid,
Leipzig
Leipzig.
like that's a hard fixture run. That's a hard fixture run,
And that's
and
why
like
I tip them as the favorites. People are trying to put us there. I'm like, bro, if we play Madrid, if we play this Liverpool team, we're gonna get battered.
yeah, I think Liverpool and Inter look like the best two teams in the Champions League right now. You got to think about Inter haven't conceded a goal for the last four in the Champions League games as well. Inzaghi knows what he's doing there. I feel like them two right now look the most equipped, just
Hmm.
in all competitions right now. You can argue that Inter look better in the Champions League than they do in Serie A as well. And
Hmm.
with Liverpool, like it's just a case of the fact they didn't actually buy anyone for the first team. They bought a goalkeeper that's going to come in next year, and they bought a winger that is so injury prone he doesn't even make the bench half the time anyway. So he's kind of got the same squad, and they look defensively organised. I know, like even they play higher up the pitch a lot more than any other team do that they come up against, but they
Hmm.
still like Konate has been terrific, pretty much been perfect this season. Honestly,
Konate, bro.
Van Dijk has been Van Dijk. Just them
Yeah,
two
Van Dijk
together
is.
is a great. It's just a great partnership, bro. Kanate's been terrific. I've always rated Kanate, but
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see that.
yeah.
You can see that.
He had
You can
injury
see that.
problems earlier in
Yeah,
his career at Liverpool. So,
yeah.
but this is the thing. Every time he was fit, I was always like very, very impressed with him. Really.
Yeah, and with
Hmm.
Klopp as well, Klopp's
Hmm.
system, sometimes you would see people's deficiencies a lot more because it's very all-out attack. With Slot, you still got that attack that he hasn't taken any away from the attack, but you still got that bit of organization in defense. Like they're nice and compact. Like they probably need upgrading them, for example, like a Robertson eventually who conceded the penalty, but
Oh yeah,
also it
bro. Robertson is
hasn't been his
finished, man.
best. Like yeah,
Mm-mm.
he hasn't been his best. He hasn't been his best for about 2 3 years, to be honest with you. So they're
Yes.
probably going to need an upgrade on that. But even when they need upgrades on positions, whether it's midfield or not, they still look like a proper cohesive team. And he hasn't been that long. People can't act like it takes so much time for you to get back on track and stuff like that. They've still got a very good squad. They just needed different ideas in the end. Like it fell off a little bit with Klopp. We don't know if whether Klopp will stay or not, whether they would have been in the title race this year or not. Maybe they still would
Mhm.
have been, but they look like they're just performing so much better. They look like they have a better idea of what they're trying to do as well. Like with Mohamed Salah, for example, Mohamed Salah doesn't really look like he's fallen off. To be honest with you, like he trusts everyone in his attack as well. Whether it's Diaz on the left, whether it's Cody Gakpo on the left. Obviously, Klopp didn't really get the best out of Cody Gakpo. Like Luis Diaz last season, everyone in the summer, including myself, was talking about Liverpool going for Anthony Gordon to be that upgrade, and we've seen how Diaz has reacted to that new manager bounce, how he's reacted to a new manager coming in with fresh ideas and what Liverpool might have done with him. They might have sold him, for example, but he's coming to play and really risen to the top. So is Cody Gakpo as well.
Yeah.
McAllister as the
Mhm.
fielder. Gravenberch has been great. Like you got to just like give credit to the coaching. He's getting the best out of what he has and even better.
No, and I absolutely agree. Here's the thing, right? If obviously people are talking about basically my manager, right? How he's coming at
Mm,
Barcelona and completely transformed. I think people need to put some respect on Arne Slott's name, right? Because think
yeah.
about it. Our season is no different from Liverpool's season,
Mm,
right? We both came out from a season where things didn't really look so great. No, I'm not saying like compared to our season, this season wasn't bad either, right? But
mm,
they needed to buy players. They need to go out and actually replace certain players, right? Bring in players in certain areas on the pitch, right? But they didn't go out there and deal with the problems that they had to deal with. You saw how much the Liverpool fans were reacting. It's just similar to how I was reacting in the beginning of the season, right? But
yeah.
the fact that Arne Slot has arrived at Liverpool with a squad that's not even his,
Yeah.
completely transformed the team and actually improved so many players. Like you just
Mhm,
mentioned it, Gravenberg. Gravenberg wasn't this player last season. Absolutely not.
yeah.
He looks like a new player under this manager, right? We're seeing players like Van Dijk having a resurgence in their career, right? Right,
Mhm,
because he looked like he was slowly, being wielded out basically from the team,
yeah.
right? And the fact that now he's like looking like the old Van Dijk. You're looking at
Mm,
players like Luis Diaz playing so well for them this season, right? Darwin Nunes is getting to the right areas, but he's still being him. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
He
Yeah.
needs to improve.
Mm,
And I look at also areas like, the midfield. Even Soboslai, I know he's not doing better, but he played well this past weekend against
mm,
Southampton, right? He came up from the bench today. So definitely Anistot should be given a lot of credit. And look, I've already said it before, right? For me, they people should really take them seriously, man. Like people need to
for
really
sure.
start
Yeah.
putting some respect on this Liverpool team, bro. Because this Liverpool team, they're not pulling any strings. They're just sitting
No.
there, just quietly, just
Mm.
minding their business. You know what I mean, right? While everyone is
Yeah,
looking at Arsenal, they're looking at City, everyone's looking at Madrid, everyone's looking at Barcelona, people are looking at everybody. Liverpool are
yeah,
just sitting there in the corner, just winning games, winning games, winning games, just quiet. And then at
yeah.
some point, people are looking at them like, wait a minute, why is no one actually talking about Liverpool who are literally doing
Mm.
so well so far? You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah. This
and
this
that's
happened
so,
last season as well, bro. This happened last season as well. Like they look even better than last season.
oh yeah.
Like like, and to be honest with you, like if a coach doesn't get any first team transfers in, and they look even better than last season, like he's kind of overachieving with what he has. Almost, you could say. Like they already have a good squad as it is. Bigger to Alfie as always, man.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing with Arnie Slot. Like people didn't know what we were going to get with a manager following up what Jurgen Klopp left them with.
Mm-hmm.
Because how hard is it for a manager to come in after the previous manager's been there for so long? Like you've seen it with Fergie and Wenger in the past with their respective clubs. Yeah, maybe a bit different because they were there for much longer, but Jurgen Klopp was still there for nearly a decade. And for a manager to come in and pretty much have the same squad, fresh ideas, and not tweak too much, and kind of just let the players play a little bit, they're doing really well. And to be honest, they could. Why not? Like my only thing is, if they didn't go in January and refresh, for example, like a little bit, just maybe one midfielder to help Gravenberch a little bit,
Yes.
and that was it. I thought maybe they couldn't go on, but to be honest with you, with the quality in Europe and in this country in general, why can't they go
Yeah.
on? Because no one else is going up. No one
No,
else is
you're
going up,
right.
so why can't they go for long?
And you know what's crazy? You're not even wrong. Because if you think about it, right, the quality in Europe right now is not that good, right?
No.
I'll be honest with you. You just mentioned it. Apart from probably Inter Milan and probably Barcelona, everybody
Yeah.
else is not looking good so far. You understand what I'm saying, right? And even
Yeah.
like Barcelona, we are not perfect. We can be got at if you know how to play against us, right?
Yeah.
Inter Milan, I know they haven't really considered a lot of goals in the Champions League, but they have proven that they you just have to know how to play around their team, and basically you will be able to open them up. You understand what I'm saying? In the league, you just mentioned it, right? I know, at the end of the day, City, we're gonna get to them. Don't worry, we will get to them later. But basically, in the Premier League right now, everybody is inconsistent. So all you just need is just have a little bit of consistency, and that's all you need. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna get Jez in the conversation. Yo, Jez, what did you think of the Liverpool Madrid game today?
I thought obviously big up everyone first and foremost. I thought it was a good match. Well, from Liverpool's point of view, Madrid not so much, but overall I thought it was a good game. A lot of things happened. Obviously, two missed penalties as well, which rarely happen.
Yeah.
Dude,
Especially with the players who usually take pens as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Liverpool, like, obviously, let me actually just put it. I think it's quicker to go off with Madrid because obviously everybody knows Madrid's issue. I feel like Madrid. I've been saying this, like, I thought when Madrid brought in, obviously, and I don't think Mbappe's the only issue. Like, if being honest, because I don't think one player makes a whole team this bad. But
No.
I always talk about in football how you can have the best players on the pitch, you can have the best players with the best reputation, and all that in football. If the dynamic of the football team, if the dynamic of the squad isn't in sync, you're never gonna be good. You're just not going. You maybe can scam a win here and there. You can maybe scam a trophy here and there, but you're not gonna be dominant. And I felt this is something that I felt about Madrid also going into the season. And I'm not surprised that it's going this way. I was saying how Toni Kroos is a big miss.
Oh yeah.
Somebody who can just dictate the tempo. Like Camavinga, good player, but he's not somebody who's gonna go out there and dictate the tempo for Madrid. Nobody's doing it. Sure, many has necessarily not been great this season. I'll be honest. I don't think Jude is as bad as people made out to be this season. But again, impact. Just
Jude
not. There's not.
Jude. No, let me
Exactly.
Jude is being Jude without the goals. That's what he is.
Yeah. No, but I don't see. But I think Jude is a lot better without the goals because I watched him for Dortmund. I know how good he can be. But what I mean with Jude not being at levels. Like I don't view Jude as if you score goals, you can only have good games if you score goals. I think Jude can show you good games when he doesn't score. But the issue with him is more so is that you're gonna get a certain level where he's gonna go covering ground. He's gonna go and win tackles and that. And this is what I feel like it's been all season so far for him. but this is not the best what you can get out of him. It's just for me, it's more of a waste personally. So you have that. Valverde, now you have to play right back out there now because of the injury. And Valverde was probably looking like the best midfielder for Madrid this season. And I rate Valverde, but if Valverde is your best midfielder, there's something wrong. Because I don't think he's the type of. I don't think you can. I don't think Valverde is the type of player that should be the best midfielder in your team. I just don't think so. And then let's talk about the front three. Your front three, which I said again, dynamic. Your whole team, your whole attack, literally are all left wingers. All of them want to occupy left areas of the pitch. So of course, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be looking amazing, especially early in the season. It's still quite early, to be honest, in the season. Like now we going into the period where a lot of football is going to be played now. And we played ironically a lot of football already, but now is the time where we see a lot of football going on, and I just feel like a lot of people, including myself, thought, okay, if there's a manager who can figure it out, probably is Ancelotti. But you can clearly see that this team just needs more. Or even not even just the manager, you can say the team just needs more. It's crazy considering the quality that they have, but I just look at everything. Like I think all that, and even the defense breaking down because all of them getting all ACLs. So even when Alaba comes back, even if Eder Militao comes back, this is not going to be the same guys. Rudiger hasn't been amazing, but then again, Rudiger is not playing consistently with a partner now. With goes out literally. Eder Militao disappears for 6 to 8 months. Alaba comes back, and then Alaba gets injured, and Eder Militao comes back. The left back position has been an issue for Madrid for the longest. Problem Mondi is meh, and Fran Garcia is just not even Madrid level, to be honest. And then Carvajal is obviously a very good right back. I think he's underrated at some point, but he's also getting on with age. So even there, you have to even start thinking. Unfortunately, he got injured, but you have to also start thinking. Okay, who's taken over? Who's taken over at the right back spot at Madrid? Eventually, that's hilarious. But you see, like on paper, everything looks great for Madrid. On paper. But when you look at it on the pitch, you see why everything is going the way it goes, and it's not even surprising, to be honest. Because again, I was worrying about certain issues, but then we all look at Madrid. It's like similar to City, because we know City what they've been doing for years. We say City is City, they figure it out. Madrid is the same thing. It's Real Madrid. They've somehow figured it out. But I feel like now that all these weaknesses getting exposed, it's on the football club to figure these things out. Do I think Ancelotti should leave at the end of the season? Yes. But I think just changing the manager is not necessarily going to fix everything. I just don't think so.
I agree with that.
It's like for me with Real Madrid as well. Like it's kind of a testament to how fallen off a cliff Vasquez has been for Valverde to play right back as well. And Valverde, as you said, can't be the main midfielder in any team. He's meant to be just that cog in a team that's just like, he's a team player sort of thing. He's not that individual that's going to stand out. Like he's hardworking, great driver with the ball, decent dribbler, like decent carrier with the ball, etc. Like, with Real Madrid in general, as you said, just like with Man City, they'll figure it out eventually. But they're 24th in the Champions League. They're 24th.
Yeah. So I did you I put it on Twitter. Did you see my picture where they had like the Barcelona? I think we're third. And then they got these guys at 24th. I'm like, bro, you guys are bottom of like the qualifications.
That's bro. That is a relegation team, right? This is because if you say it's a league table format, they're basically relegation.
Yeah, they are Southampton of the Champions League. They're Southampton.
And you know what's crazy? If this was the old format, Jez, right? They've lost 3 games in a row. If this was the old format, they would be looking like they're going to be eliminated. Because think about it, in the Champions League in the old format, if you lost like 3 games, that basically means that you have 1 foot out of the door more than inside. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right? Like you start looking at at that stage. You start looking at trying to just finishing in at that stage of in the old format. You're just looking to even get the Europa League at that stage.
Yeah, you're looking at Fenerbahce away and the
them games. Games, man, like, and it's mad. It's mad to me, in like how it's going on in Madrid. So, but again, it's been an issue all season, and just I like So it's a big issue where I feel like they have to just figure it out. Like you see them get linked to certain players, but even like for example, Florian Wirtz. For example, let's say Javi Alonso takes over. What do you call him? But let's say Javi Alonso takes over next season and he brings the same system to Real Madrid that he plays. How is that going to work? Because again, like you need a focal point through the middle. I keep saying like, you can't. That's
what they have Endrick, man. They have Endrick, bro.
But they're not going to play Endrick, though. That's the issue. That Endrick. See, I said to be honest, at this point, you might as well play him more often. But they're not going to do it.
Do you have a choice, bro? Play the guy. Like that's why you guys.
I'm saying that I have done enough of a choice, but this is what fucked up. It's like they're looking at an 18-year-old that just came from Brazil to go and be the savior now. And not saying, and of course, you at Real Madrid, there's a certain standards that you need to be at. But let's be honest, like even when Valverde came through, when he came to Madrid when he was 18, wasn't expected to come out and be like this guy because he had all the senior guys ahead of him. But now Endrick and the Gullers, they're looking at their senior guys and like, yo, these guys are not captain if it's not winning.
Yeah, I think also as well, like if Xabi Alonso came in, it's not even just like a striker, like the front three in general, the way he works the front three, like inside. Like obviously he has Florian Wirtz at Leverkusen.
Yeah, and Hoffman.
You got like Gula, that's only that type of mold, really, that can really fit that system. Like Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe will not be good in the front three for that. That's so unbalanced for that specific system.
Exactly, like, and obviously Madrid's been linked to Wirtz, so if this was a situation where Wirtz came in and then you have Gula at the under 10, that would work. But then, dropping Vinny, Rodrigo, and Mbappe.
Yeah.
So now you have to go and change your whole system. As I keep saying, it's a hard challenge. Like it's a hard challenge, and this is where I even thought like Madrid, like them getting, like it sounds crazy, but Mbappe sounds like a luxury player to them.
Yeah,
you got him there only because his name is Mbappe. But did you really have to bring Mbappe?
They didn't need him.
Dude, I said this before, bro. Literally, when they signed them, right in the summer, I was literally saying, bro, Jess, you remember this, bro, because I'm on Sarcasm City with you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? I said on my channel, bro. I told these people, I'm like, bro, this guy since last season has been awful. You guys saw him in the Euros. He was awful in the Euros. Like, bro, people were ignoring the signs, and the signs were there for people to see, but they just were ignoring it. And I'm like, listen, ignore it at your own peril. That is you guys ignored it. Now you're seeing it. Look at it today. Everybody who I talk to, who are Madrid fans or Mbappe fans, will say, well, he needs time. He's had time now. You understand what I'm saying? At Real Madrid, after you get 10 games to learn for them to start judging you. After 10 games, they start judging you. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And second thing I've been hearing is, if you want to get the best out of Mbappe, you got to play him out wide so that he can cut inside. Well, guess what? Today against Liverpool, he was playing out wide, and Conor Bradley had him in his pocket.
Yeah, you got put in a fucking shoebox. He put him in a shoebox, bro. He got little
game, and what I was hearing from people also going right into this game. And see, Conor Bradley's a good fullback here, but bro, it shouldn't be. It was bad. Like it wasn't even a thing. Like Mbappe didn't even have a sniff outside the penalty. Didn't have a single sniff on goal against Bradley. Like it was bad. And the funny part is that this is why I love football. Because a lot of people, I saw people see Vinicius injured and they said, there we go. This is Mbappe. Mbappe finally can play left wing. Football cameras a bitch, man. I was happy that Mbappe got, and I was happy that Vinny got injured. No, Mbappe's not going to play at left wing. So, and like you said, Omar, this isn't like This isn't a surprise like that Mbappe is playing this part. He wasn't great last season either. Like he has he scored a lot of goals. Yes, he did. But then it's like with me and somebody who obviously supports Spurs and knows about Kane. Of course, Kane is gonna back hella goals. Like people getting surprised by the goals that Kane scores in the Bundesliga. Bro, he was banging goals for fans in the Premier League too. So it's not. So if Mbappe is banging goals in Uber Eats or McDonald's Ligue 1 now.
It's not wrong. Come on, it's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. But if you know what I mean? Like if he's bagging goals, nobody's surprised that he's bagging goals in the league. Same with Kane bagging goals in the Bundesliga now. Yeah, but when you look at Mbappe's play overall, even last season, League or Champions League, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. So it's like I said, I think even me and Flores, we did on a Q&A. This was actually I think a couple of months ago. I asked the question, who are like in every position, like without goal, excluding goalkeepers, centre backs, full backs, whatever we're going, who are the true world class players? And I didn't include Mbappe as my world class player at this current moment in time. Does he have world class abilities? Yes, but
Yeah.
and, but he's not moving like a world class player, and I don't think he has been. Like
You talk about Mbappe, right?
yeah, Mbappe, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with
Like,
that.
I think like he has world class ability. Like I don't think you have all these goals and everything in your
He's not
career
world
and
class.
not do it. No. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Omar. I
Mm.
think the ability is there to be world class, but he hasn't been world class for me the last 2 seasons,
Yeah.
especially
I remember,
like.
I remember. Sorry, I remember watching that stream. Like legit. Like if you look at football now, the best players in the world that we're talking about don't even turn up half the time. That's how
They
bad
don't.
the football
They
is
don't.
now.
They
Let's be
don't.
real. Like look at every league. Look at all the best teams. Look at who would you say the best players are? Maybe apart from Salah season in, season out, and even then when Liverpool gets to the Champions League, sometimes we criticize Salah as well. Like we
Yeah.
look at all these best players in the world, they're not the best players in the world.
No,
Like
they're not.
realistically, like who would we generally pitted them against each other with?
You
Like
know what
one
is
we
crazy?
basically said,
I've said this so many times. Even now, when I look at the Ballon d'Or, I'm like, bro, you know what it is? The Ballon d'Or, like, this is one of the few years where I was like, bro, I'm not even looking forward to the Ballon d'Or.
I would look
See,
forward to the
a lot
Ballon
of
d'Or
people,
for about 6 years,
obviously,
bro.
people said Vinicius should have won it, and personally, I think he should have. But I was one of the people where I was like, it's not like when Ronaldo and Messi win the Ballon d'Or, where you're like,
Yeah,
everyone already knew. You feel me? Like
yeah,
we all knew
Yeah.
whether we were Ronaldo or Messi, but we already knew. We're like, bro, this guy has such a crazy season. He scored like 50, 60 goals. He was like
yeah.
dominating. He was single-handedly winning games on his own and all of this stuff. The issue is, right, football has changed so much from like what we were used to like growing up. You understand what I'm saying, right? Where
Yeah.
the eye test. I even said this, bro. It's crazy. A few weeks ago, I was on Twitter, right? X, right? And I had like I saw this. They were clipping Lee Gunner where he was basically talking about Savio and how he is Savio higher than a player like Saka, right? And when he said this, everybody was just trolling him. They were like, "Oh, Savio has got 0 goals and 0 assists." And don't get it twisted, right? At the end of the day, goals and assists are important. But I've always said this, right? I said the eye test overrules the stat test. If you sit down and you watch these two players, watch them week in, week out, you'll be able to see the difference. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Saka is obviously more, his conversion rate is way higher. Of course it is. But Savio on the ball, he's so good where you're like, at the end of the day, you just need to learn, get your finishing intact. If you get your finishing intact, you will be scary. It's kind of like Yamal. I was saying this about Yamal. I was like, Yamal, you're a baller. The moment this brother knows how to finish, the world is not ready. Everybody, he's terrorizing everybody. And you see it this season. His finishing has gone to another level this season, and he is looking like the scariest winner in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Look at Rafinha this season, bro. Right? His conversion rate is ridiculous. This has literally been his best season so far. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And he's on the track to have the best season of his career. Right?
Yeah.
And this is my point. At the end of the day, goals and assists are important, but you have to have something in your game that sets you apart from others. The thing with Mbappe is, I've always said it about Mbappe, Jez, about 5-6 years ago when they won the World Cup. I told people that Mbappe, by the time he's 30, will be finished. And people were telling me that, oh, what are you talking about? This and this and this. I'm like, bro, you know what Mbappe, you know why I say Mbappe is going to be finished by the time he's 30? It's because Mbappe's the best thing about Mbappe is what? His pace, his burst of energy. As he grows up, as he gets older, his age is going to his burst of energy is going to slow down. And then he's going to have to use the other attributes on his in his playing style. And the problem is his other attributes are not as good. You understand what I'm saying, right? So when he gets to that certain age and he doesn't have that pace anymore, everybody's gonna see it. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like Mbappe is, I don't know what's going on with this dude because people are acting like this is. It's only now he's only been starting to play like this, bro. He's been like this for a long time. Anyone who's been watching him consistently will tell you. Tell me, bro.
You know what it is? I think partly it has to do with the fact. I think the guy got hella complacent. Like, I feel like one thing I give, like, obviously, I don't have necessarily the greatest opinion about CR,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing I give CR is just that it's just the dedication that he puts into in his game, to his work, trying to be better, the willingness to trying to even be like everybody knew, like the like like probably like people my age probably because I'm 23,
Yeah.
and people who have most people my age and younger will have seen Ronaldo at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But the Ronaldo for Real Madrid and Ronaldo at Sporting and Man United are two completely different Ronaldos when you relook when you go and remember them on. But this is what you can respect is that Ronaldo is happy going from a tricky winger who's trying to beat his man, trying to do skills. Sometimes that's some unnecessary stuff that he has to do, but still did it to a high level. He was willing to
Yeah,
do that. He was willing to drop that to be a complete goal scorer playing through the middle. And I've been saying this about Mbappe is how you're right with the pace thing. Players who do rely on their pace, when the pace and the step is gone, how it can
Yep.
massively impact them. So I'm always looked at Mbappe and said, even in the last few years when you're playing at a higher level than this, you have to start thinking about you can't have this diva mentality where like I'm Mbappe. If it's not the left wing, then I don't want to play anywhere else.
yeah,
Like
and also
your favorite player was willing to improve his game so he can perform at the highest level longer and longer. You see all the reports. Everybody says, look, Mbappe is requesting that he has a striker so he can play off a striker on the left. Mbappe doesn't want to play on the
yeah,
right no more. Mbappe doesn't want to play through the middle. But why don't you want to play? Do you really want to win? Because if you don't want to play through these striker, if you don't want to play right wing, that means you don't truly want to win them at everything possible. And Ronaldo
it,
did that.
Best players in the world
the
always
different.
know how to work out. You gotta understand, right? Best players in the world, like even Cristiano, you just mentioned it. Cristiano Ronaldo had to evolve for the sake of his career, for the longevity of his career. You understand what I'm saying,
Mhm.
right? A lot of people who didn't like the fact that Ronaldo went from being the strict winger that was so good at dribbling and all this stuff to becoming an outright goal scorer. I look at it and I say, for me, I understand it because if you think about it, that actually long increased, like gave him like what 10 more years at the top. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying, right? Because you think about it, around the time when he
He's
went,
still playing now, you know. He's still playing now as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
exactly.
legit.
And this is the thing. And this is the thing, right? He has elevated, like he's gone longer than many people, his compatriots. Look at some of the people who are around his age. Some of them are either retired or playing, or basically they're retired. Let's be real. They're finished,
Yeah,
right? The fact that he, in a way, is still playing pretty much in the high level. He's still playing international football. He's playing in the Saudi league, scoring hella amounts of goals. You understand what I'm saying, right? He had to change his style to basically and even he admitted this. Like he even admitted, he's like, listen, at the end of the day, yes, can I do the dribbles I used to do when I was young? Yes, I can. But I have to evolve. You understand what I'm saying? I
yeah,
wanted to evolve because I knew I was not the same player. And even
yeah.
he admitted it.
Legit, like if you like, as Alfie said, like the best players learn to like adapt to the situation that they're in anyway. And let's
Yep.
be honest with you, yeah, that carries on your career. Like Ronaldo wanted to win because as much as he was about himself, he was also about the team to win trophies because he wants to go down as one of the best players in the world, and he has done.
Mm-hmm.
With Mbappe, he wants the football to come to him. Like he wants to win, but I don't think he has that same drive as what the proper people like go like 10 years ago, 20 years ago actually needed to win, actually needed to get to the top. Because you don't
Yeah.
have the mentality for that. As much as you are one of the better players in the world, based on ability and based on what you should be and based on the idea of what Mbappe should be, you're waiting
Mm-hmm.
for the football to come to you all the time. You're actually waiting for stuff to happen rather than you making it happen. Apart from the World Cup final, you're not taking games by the scruff of the neck to actually change the game. People like Ronaldo did. People like Messi did. That's why we regard them as the best in
Yeah.
their era and the best that we've seen. With Mbappe, he's not done that ever, apart from the time in the World Cup final when, let's be honest, that's a special occasion where you have to rise to that occasion. When it's the Champions
Exactly.
League, where people are looking at you to take your team to the Champions League, to take your team to the league. In Liga,
Mm-hmm.
you could do that. PSG won it every year, and pretty much every year, apart from that one season. Lille won it in lockdown. You're with Real Madrid now. It's Barcelona, Real Madrid most of the time. Barcelona over here, and Real Madrid are not just below them because of Mbappe, but people are looking at you because you're one of the biggest players in one of the biggest clubs in the world. You got to take on that pressure.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy? Just before we move on, right? The funny thing is, Mbappe, right, all his career everything that everyone ever talked about was when his move, his inevitable move to Madrid. Because the reason why people were always talking about that inevitable move is because that's where people were gonna start to judge you. People were looking at your time at PSG and saying, "Yeah, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep getting better." But when you get to Real Madrid, that's when now we're gonna be like, "All right, now we're gonna judge you. Now we're gonna be critical of every single tiny little thing that you do." You understand what I'm saying? Every little thing. Like, listen, at the end of the day, when Cristiano Ronaldo was under Manchester United, won them league titles, won the Ballon d'Or, did everything over there. When he went to Madrid, that's where he cemented himself as one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time in many people's eyes.
Yeah.
It was at Madrid, not at Manchester United. Don't get it twisted. At Manchester United, he was considered the best, one of the best players in the world. But when he went to Real Madrid, that's where he cemented himself as one of the greatest of all time. And this is the thing with Mbappe. Mbappe doesn't understand that you now, people have that pass that baton up onto you. People are looking at you as the potential greatest player of all time or the greatest player of your generation. The issue is the only way you can cement that is to do it at Madrid, where the big boys go. You understand what I'm saying? Where legends are made. When you succeed at Madrid, you become a legend, not just in that club, but in football in general. Look at the amount of legends that have come out of that club. You understand what I'm saying, right? And when you think about it, Mbappe, that's the thing with Mbappe. Yeah, you won the World Cup. Yeah, you scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final. Yeah, that's all great. Guess what? There's a lot of players who are like you, who've created things like, who've done the things that you've done, who are not considered the greatest players of all time, but they're considered greatest players of their generation, right?
Yeah.
You think about players like, I don't know, like a Zico, Socrates in the 80s. These are players who were incredible in their era, but they're not considered the greatest players of all time. They're not considered Maradona. They're not Maradona. You understand what I'm saying, right?
No,
But they just consider a tier below them. You understand what I'm saying, right? You think of, I don't know, like you think of in the early 2000s, like even like players like Henry. You understand what I'm saying? Like Henry is considered one of the, if not the best Premier League player, best player to ever come out of the Premier League, right? Is he considered the greatest player of all time? Not the greatest, but he is the greatest player of his generation. In his generation, which was incredibly stacked, he was part of it. You understand what I'm saying, right? So at the end of the day, this is the thing. When you are a player of a certain level, even Zidane for a long time was considered the best player in the world. When he went to Madrid and was doing what he was doing at Madrid, that's when people started to say, yeah, this guy's one of the greatest players to ever play the game because he did it at Madrid. R9, the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? Even like Ronaldinho is considered one of the greatest players of all time. Look at what he did at Barcelona. It was one of the biggest reasons why people consider him the greatest player of all time. You understand what I'm saying, right? And that's the thing. Mbappe needs to understand that. He now is at Real Madrid, and this is where people are going to judge you. Because if you don't make it here, people are going to say, yeah, he was one of the best players of his generation. Is he one of the greatest players of all time? No, not even in the top 25. Not even the top 25. Because there will be 25 other players who've done it more than you. And that's the truth. But listen, I do want to move on from this because I do want to talk about the weekend games, right? Now, both of you guys had amazing weekends, so I'm sure this is going to be a great show. But let's start with Mike's, because this is the thing, Mike's. You, my friend, every time we've done True Ballers FC, have come in here miserable, talking about your manager, talking about your players, talking about how you guys should go out and get other players, get another manager, and all of these stuff. But somehow you guys went to the tune and going to beat Strasbourg FC 2-0. Listen, speaking of Steve, man, like that was an amazing street play when I was on the playback with him, and I think Jez, you were there, right, Jez?
I was taking the piss out of him. That like he was
he crashed out. Did you see it? Mike,
I didn't see it.
Dude,
bro,
he was
I bullied him. I bullied him off the stream just by trolling.
Oh yeah, he ended up having to leave stream, bro. He was screaming. Like I remember he was going at Almiron, right? And I was like, bro, why are you taking your frustration out on Almiron, bro? That just triggered him, bro. He just started shouting and just turned off his stream. I'm like,
bro, it's so funny because I did a preview with Steve, and we pretty much were in agreement that Newcastle were going to win the game. We very much said we both said Newcastle winning that game very easily. We both said that Newcastle should win that game because of how bad West Ham have been under Lopetegui. And listen, I like the only time I come here and we won was the Man United game. And I was like, even then, that's not going to change anything. And to be honest, I'm still like that now. Like nothing's going to change. Like let's be real.
No, of course.
West Ham do this. Let's West Ham do this. We win once, like every like 8 games or whatever the fuck it is. Like we've won. This is only our 4th game that we've actually won this season, like in the Prem, and we've got Arsenal next. I don't expect to win that, but that was the best that we've been all season. Like in terms of individually, like and for a whole 90-minute game against Ipswich, we played well for like 80 minutes. Man United 45 minutes, Crystal Palace 45 minutes in the games we won. Against City, we're actually all right. We just didn't finish our chances. But with this game, we actually had freedom. We played better because we played on the front foot, which is the reason, which is how we should play. I said this when we beat Ipswich. It doesn't take a lot to get the best out of this squad. And if you really want to succeed at West Ham, all you have to do is play on the front foot with this specific group of players. The problem is with this manager, we play a different style of play every game. So it's either possession-based football or long ball football, depending on the opponent. But you're never going to let the players gel like that. That's why Lopetegui looks so clueless and identityless all the time. But we've discussed this many times before. Big on Southie, man, this guy, man. Like you best not. You can't lose to a Lopetegui West Ham. That's all I'm going to say.
The funny part is, sorry, continue.
Sorry, like legit, like Carlos Soler playing in his right
Oh
position.
yeah.
Was like one of the best players on the pitch. Lucas Paquetá, we got to see him play deeper and dictate the game. Made a couple of mistakes, wasn't perfect, but he was still better than we've seen him all season because we had a direction of playing. Emerson and Wan-Bissaka had to settle into the game, but Wan-Bissaka put a couple of players in the penitentiary once again. Like Kilman and Todibo didn't let Isak like do anything to them. Like even though Kilman isn't as fast as Isak, he read the game. He read every pass because all Newcastle were trying to do were passing behind, and we cut that out very well. Antonio didn't start well. He didn't start well in the first 5 minutes, but he picked it up and bullied Lloyd Kelly. Lloyd Kelly was terrible on the day. Like, he got a yellow card, bad for the corner. Thomas Souček was very good. Everyone knows how critical I am.
Well.
He was decent. He was great. I give credit where it's due. But I'm not fair. I've got agendas, you know? Like, that's how it works. That's how YouTube works. But, like, legit, like, the midfield was actually decent. And I thought it was actually going to be more unbalanced because we didn't have a natural 6, a natural ball winner in there. But we just played, like, decent, like just fluid around the midfield and stuff. Like the back 4 deserves a better coach because that's a decent back 4 on paper, but just structurally we're not that good because we're still one ball over the top away from just conceding a big chance all the time. Like I'll say that the midfield is sitting too deep and the defense is sitting too high, so everyone's just congested. I've said this many times before. If we play like that against Arsenal, we're still going to get battered. So that's that for me. It's not going to change anything, but I'm just happy with the win. Just happy to win, man. Honestly.
No, I hear that. I hear it. Listen,
I
watched the game, but yeah, I'll let you continue. I'll let you start. Say first of all, Jess, what did you think of the game?
No, actually, it's funny. It's funny because if there was a game where maybe West Ham can go to result, it's Newcastle because Newcastle hasn't been like them. They also hasn't been necessarily amazing either. So it's kind of like if 2 teams are going through their struggles. You never know what type of games. Ironically, these are the type of games I like the most. When two teams are in their own struggles, and especially on the 8 p.m. kickoff, you know, that right there screams Barclays right there for me. But the maddest thing about is West Ham had like the period when they obviously did everything that they needed to do. Even and then obviously Wan-Bissaka, on stream I was like, yo, that was a finish. That was a finish by Wan-Bissaka. Inverting. And then the movement is looking like Van Persie-esque, and then the finish there. And but then even then, I'm looking at West Ham like, yo, Lopetegui, like your team hasn't been necessarily great this season at all, and you need to make sure you get this result. Why do I see us? Why did I even see at that time of the game scenarios where, like you mentioned, Mike, the defensive line was so low away from the defensive line was so away from the midfield and attack. So when Newcastle tried to counter, there were a lot of 1v1 situations, and I can't lie. I don't know what your thoughts were, because me and Flores, when we watched the game, that penalty shot on Wilson, I personally thought it was a penalty, because go on, because what's your thoughts on that?
You know what? I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it. My problem is that I've seen those quite a lot in the Premier League. I've seen that happen quite a lot, and it's just a case of.
They don't call it.
Yeah, they don't call it. My thing is with the Premier League with that. We've always seen those situations where the shirt gets pulled, whether it's more violently or not as violent, or they're grabbing the play, etc. That happens so much in the Premier League that it either gets given or it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
it kind of goes either way. I like this. That kind of sums up Mavropanos for you, though. Like
Yeah,
you saw the
but for me,
difference. You saw the difference
but-
between Timo Gilman between Mavropanos as well.
yeah, but but this was my issue, isn't it? Because but obviously it didn't give. It is what it is. I'm not even saying that Newcastle should have gotten the pen. My point was more even on that is that you allowed yourself to give these opportunities away because of the way you still play.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like a better team exploits that.
Yeah,
A better team pays you more often in the scenarios. And you also have to look at Newcastle. The amount of times they found themselves in scenarios to finish, but then credit to West Ham, defended well. But even then, it's like I said, it's weird because like you said, it's like West Ham won the game, but there's things that I didn't like watching from the West Ham's perspective, where I feel like better teams can definitely expose the Newcastle going through their own struggles. Like if this was Ipswich, because this is one thing I was even saying about us in Ipswich, because we gave them so much space between the midfield areas and the between midfield and our defense. Teams that can attack space, they will take the piss out of that. Normally, Newcastle's a lot better at it, but normally Newcastle's better at it, but they didn't take advantage. But you have to also give credit to West Ham. Like I've been actually, which is funny. Obviously, I support Spurs and that, but I've been defending West Ham a lot this season, saying how I think West Ham have good players. I really do think West Ham have good players. Everybody knows me on my old Twitter account. I've been wanting Max Kilman at Spurs for the longest. I think it's a really the only issue was always I didn't like the price tag. I still think West Ham maybe pay a lot of money for him, but it is what it is. In the game, if you really want a player that you really want at your football club, you pay the money. We pay 60 mil for Sri Lanka. People don't think Sri Lanka is 60 mil, but I was happy with paying the money because I think not necessarily that he's worth 60 mil, but he's a good player, in my opinion. So
with Max Kilman, he's been one of our best players this season.
And he's right. That's right. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I was happy with the play. My only thing was in situations where you get taken down the channels, or in a situation where you're in the forward and back and you don't have as much cover when you're getting taken down the channels, etc. He may not be the strongest aerially either, but he's actually makes up for that quite a bit with his height anyway. And his pressure's just to put his arm against the striker so they don't actually get that full leap on him and he gets dunked all the time. Like him and Tadibo have a great understanding. All of them are good individuals in the back four, but that back four could be a lot more cohesive if we actually had a coach that was, had a brain.
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
that's the thing. Like I said this, like I think I was on Flawless a Q&A with I was debating with Tom. Like we have a good squad. The transfer window was fine.
Yeah, of course.
For what we need to do, we addressed a lot of positions. Yeah, we addressed a lot of positions that we needed to address. If you look at the squad from last season compared to this season, much as I went at Moyes, that was his squad. He had that by design. Then we were terrible because of that. Like only Mavropanos was competent in the centre backs. We had Nea Faged, Kurt Zuma, and Ogbono, who was about 40. Like legit. And Zuma's knees are about 40 anyway. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we've upgraded on the squad in quite a lot of positions. It's unfortunate Fulkirk is injured, but at the same time you can adapt. There's a lot more to get out of the squad than we've seen. Like Somerville. How many times have I talked about Somerville? Somerville, like a player running from the left, cutting in on the right. How many times have I said this about West Ham? Someone with pace. Like, he was making Livramento dance, bro. Like, and Livramento's a very good right back. A very good right back.
He's good. He's good.
And like Bowen, like I just don't get it. Bowen's a very good player, yeah. So why have you misused him all season? Why have you put him on the touchline or up front? Like, just in those positions where he put the ball in for Wan-Bissaka, I understand it if Wan-Bissaka's making underlapping runs there. But if Bowen's right on the touchline and then Wan-Bissaka's making a run, that goal doesn't happen. Just get them narrower. Attack a bit more narrower because you get the wingers in 1v1 situations. Wan-Bissaka, again, he's another one that's been terrific. Like, that finish and all of his attacking ability that he showed this season for West Ham, playing through the press, taking on players. Even at his debut, he showed that he set a precedent from there against Palace, that he just needed that confidence. He needed to play at a club where he could just have fun playing football and not under pressure, unlike being at Manchester United. We know how good he is defensively. And I didn't even want him in the first place. I wanted like a Kyle Walker-Peters who could like be attacking, a lot more attacking and stuff like that. But Wan-Bissaka has been, again, one of our best players this season, to be 100% honest with you. Like, no one's really beaten him in terms of 1v1. And in terms of like playing out at the back, he's been terrific, playing through the press, etc. it's just a shame we don't have a coach to carry this on and go on a consecutive run of games, because I feel like we're going to go back to type against Arsenal. I feel like even though the team should stay unchanged because it's Lopetegui, he's going to change it and put a Rodriguez or an Alvarez in there to be more solid and all that. But yeah, if we as we talked about the defensive line just now, with just like that, those Odegaard passes for that defensive line, bro, it's a long day. It's a long day. Like that's what I'm saying when it comes to playing against Arsenal. Like it like we saw what happened last season. It was a completely different squad. Don't get me wrong, and we were playing a right back on the left wing. Thanks, boys. But at the same time, we've got Lopetegui now, who just back four is decent, but it's structure wise. Come on, man, it's a long day. Like that Odegaard to Saka pass is on all the time. Like, and even then, if we got to be brave on the ball as well. We got to be brave on the ball. Like we were brave on the ball against Newcastle, playing through their press. That's how you should play. Souček was playing through the press. Kilman was playing through the press. Soler, Paketa, everyone was playing through.
Yeah, they were all playing well.
Don't go long. Don't go long next game. Don't go long next game, because what's going to happen is one of their centre backs will win the ball and we get countered on. That's what's going to happen.
And the unfortunate thing for you is you guys are playing Arsenal literally at the worst time. They're literally this looks like they found their shooting boots, right? Odegaard has come back, and all of a sudden, Arteta has become brave again. All of a sudden, he's become brave again to actually try attacking teams, right? We saw what he did against Tottenham Forest, absolutely destroyed them. That was surprising. In the Champions League yesterday, we're not talking about it enough. Dude, they absolutely wrecked Sporting Lisbon. That was a surprise for me. But listen, at the end of the day, it was a great performance. You understand what I'm saying? For them. And for you guys also, it was a surprising performance, and there were some positives, but you just mentioned it, right? The issue is you can't really give this team too much credit when you know who's the guy that's running the club. You understand what I'm saying, right? And I feel like, even though you guys did well and you guys beat Newcastle, you could get a reality check, the reality check of a lifetime when you play against that Arsenal team. So listen, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But yeah, listen, segueing, I do want to, since Jez is here, we're going to talk about it. Yes. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspurs 4.
Hey.
Jeez, bro. Talk to me, man. What in God's name happened in that game, bro? I could not believe what I was seeing, bro. We're going to talk about City, but I want to first of all talk about Spurs. Talk to me, Jess.
Obviously, everybody knows we are City's bogey team, so it's not like necessarily that we are. It's not. I think for a lot of people, including probably even Spurs fans, I don't think it was a thing that we beat City. Let's go. It's not. It wasn't. It's not probably that. It was probably the manner. It was more the manner, because especially away, we beat City a lot of times. We are the team that has the most points against Pep since he's been here in the Premier League.
That's
or
crazy.
probably, I think even of all time in his career, I think we're the team that got the most points against him. But
and people used to say club, and people used to say club was his kryptonite.
No, it's Tottenham, bro. Like I said, man, it's his fault. He called us the Harry Kane team.
Oh yeah,
we still beat him. And the ironic part is most times Kane sometimes isn't there and we still beat him. Like Champions League, Kane wasn't there. First game of the season under Nuno, Kane wasn't there. Kane is not here now. Kane wasn't here last season. No, just saying, but it's just, and going to the game. Obviously, we have this Ipswich game in the mind, and it's annoying, obviously. But one thing I know is that Spurs can turn up against City. So I always said, I have a bit more faith than I usually have in the last few years. And then I see the lineup, and I'm like, very happy to see Maddison back in the lineup, because I felt, even though I have a lot of criticism for Maddison, one thing I do say is that this is where Ant got it completely right, pushing Kulusevski back on the right, because I've been talking about how the dynamic, Maddison and Kulusevski together in the midfield are great dynamic to have, but then the whole midfield dynamic has to be pinpoint perfect, and I don't think we have necessarily the DMs to do that. So I'm very happy that he came in and then obviously put in the performance that he needed.
Mhm.
Kulusevski been our player of the season. I think he's been. If he wasn't a team that's so inconsistent with getting wins, he would be in conversation as like a player of the season conversations. Me
Yeah.
personally, I think this is how good he's been this season. And again, and he's been talking about how much his good form comes down to the manager, not necessarily giving back the confidence in him to perform the way he's been doing it. The defense, shout out to the defense. Dragusin and Ben Davis stepped up.
Yeah.
Then both
Yeah,
main centre
Dragusin,
backs
he's,
out.
he's beginning to really show his form now, isn't he, Dragusin? Because he
Yeah,
was getting a lot
and
of criticism earlier in the season, but
yeah, because the thing is, I'm not fully convinced with him because you know how we play and how you need to be on the ball. But one thing I give him is in terms of from a box defending standpoint, he's our best defender. Where if you're getting pinned down, pinned back to your own box, having a Dragus in there massively helps because he's just willing. He doesn't shy away from the challenges. Makes it hard for the defense. And look, man, yeah, City had opportunities, but Manchester City is Manchester City. They're always going to get opportunities. So
Yeah.
what do you have to do? Try to limit them as much as possible, and then hit them when you have to hit them. And this is what we did. That midfield, Axeman, that was African power right there. Basuma and Sa right there, like
hell yeah, man.
that was
The jollof rice, man. You know
this
what I
was
mean?
that was the Jollof midfield right there. Like
Yeah, the jollof midfield right
these
there, man.
guys, like Gundogan, Rico Lewis, Bernardo, they were all looking after shadows. They couldn't believe what they were looking at because like it's just the power, the energy that it just provided. Basuma getting a yellow, early yellow, but the discipline again, like I'm saying about him, how discipline from a disciplinary standpoint, how he needs to improve, and for him to get a yellow that early and then not get a second one, shout out to him. And yeah, man, like everything just clicked. And we slapped these guys up. We slapped like this wasn't the thing. Okay, we won against City, but we got away with it. No, we slapped these guys up. Slapped. That was a proper thrashing right there. And this is
Nah,
probably
it
the
was.
annoying part about. And this is probably the annoying part about the Spurs side this season is that we know we can put performances in like this. I know because I've been consistently saying this. I think we've been good this season. I don't think we've been as bad as people make it out to be.
No,
But
you're not. You're not. You're not.
it's the games against the Ipswich. It's against the games against Palace where yeah we can. And it's the games against Brighton as well. And obviously Ange was getting a lot of stick for these games. And
Mhm.
obviously when you lose these games at Spurs, of course you're gonna get these stick. But I think
Of
one
course.
key aspect that I think a lot of people ignore is that how adversity. Yet you can look at the manager and ask them to do changes.
Mhm.
But where's also the players' mindset and you know what? Let's rise because even Kulusevski and shout out to Kulusevski coming out again, like which in the last few seasons under different managers, players didn't come out and say like and said after Ipswich, it's my responsibility to take over. But what I like now is that the players are coming out and saying no, we also have to take responsibility, and I feel like that's what all that
Right.
nonsense that Football Insider reported about the players are turning on Ange Postecoglou, and that's the crazy part is our fan base really believed that. There's
Mhm.
people in our fan base who listen to Football Insider believing that our players have Football Insider, not David Ornstein, not Fabrizio,
No,
Football
Mhm.
Insider, and it could have
we all
been
have
anybody in Football Insider as
Bro,
well. Like
they're doing this for
that could
we
have
all
clicks,
have
been
that in
man.
our
me.
fan base, don't we? We all have that in our fan base with the stupid people online that believe every source. They take every source as gospel.
Every so
from
and Football.
from the Sun as well. Like it's
It's
ridiculous,
actually,
man.
this can be, Football Insider that had people who are actually a bit decent, but it could have been literally anybody. It could have
Yeah,
been anybody who could have said that. And of course,
Mhm.
Spurs just lost against Ipswich. Let's write a story about how the players don't feel Ange Postecoglou. Well,
mm,
Mm.
and ironically, Vicario, Udogie, and I think Madison were players mentioned in that article. So they're probably arguably one of the better players on the weekend. So you tell me Defalot was the manager. Oh, okay, cool, man.
mm,
But
All right, cool.
this is what this is why I can't hide it. Like, because I feel like if Ange was at West Ham, if
Mhm.
he had that
yeah,
type, if he had that team, West Ham would be doing so much better right now.
yeah,
I stand by on the fact that I believe he's a good manager. He has his faults, 100%, and I have criticized him a lot for his faults. But I feel
mm,
like it just needs more time. I feel like I accepted that this season is gonna be inconsistencies. We're gonna lose games that we don't expect to
Mhm.
lose. That we're gonna win games where everybody actually surprised by the shocking, actually surprised by how well we played in the games. Like Kulusevski, Lord of Manchester. Both this is not it's not red or blue. It's white.
Yeah.
It's Manchester. It's not white. So
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
Joy-
to be fair, I hear it because they beat United, bro. They've beaten both. They've gone to Manchester and scored 7 goals, ladies and gentlemen. That is
conceded
insane.
none.
because
Conceded none as well.
but we don't. But Anish doesn't coach the defense, bro. But
Yeah, legit. Joy's so funny. Yeah, like I don't know how Tottenham always do it with the most random starting 11s. Obviously, last year was with Davies and Emerson Royale at centre back as well. But like
yeah,
with Tottenham in general, like my whole thing is it's just based on results that you guys have been topsy turvy. Based on performances, we can see the consistencies. We can see the consistencies of what Tottenham are bad at and what Tottenham are good at. The reason why you guys are so topsy turvy isn't because of the manager, because we know how the manager is going to set out. We know what the manager is going to tell the players to do. Yes, does Ange have to switch it up at times when he comes up against, I'd say, an organised defence at times? Yes, but he only can really attack in certain ways where his attackers are very limited. Like your attackers, like for an attacking
it's
team,
not amazing.
yeah, you're actually better on transition with the players you have, like Brennan Johnson, like Son. Son is still Son, but it's Son on a touchline. It's not going to be the same human Son. Like Timo Werner, we know he's good on transition. We saw him create the last goal, but come on, let's be serious. Kyle Walker in 2024, we saw what happened. Like Solanke doesn't actually get enough service for me for a player that plays in an attacking team. Like I can't really judge him too much. I feel like
even then, it's like it's extremely underrated the work that he did against City.
Yeah,
like he does so much, because in the stat sheet it doesn't show, and obviously as a striker, unfortunately, you get judged by goals. But the reason why I haven't slandered him all season is because he does so much for the team. That's why when people try to compare him to Richarlison, why? Because Richarlison doesn't do any. Richarlison's outside running. Richarlison doesn't do anything to the team. Nothing. But you can continue.
I think he's made you better in attack. I think he's
100%.
helped your wingers a lot more. I think that's why at times you see your wingers go up a level, because of Solanke. He's striking out defenders with his movement and stuff as well. And Kulusevski does deserve his props, because this guy has made midfields his own. He's made just games his own. Like no matter where he's played, like whether he's played out wide or in the middle, even when he's played out wide, you saw the freedom he had in the Man City game to pretty much go where he wants and play to his game. Like Maddison rose to the occasion as well. I like James Maddison as a player. I understand the criticisms of him, but when he's at his best, those are the kind of performances he can give you. Like I just think it's genuinely more of the sake of the fact that I never rated Tottenham's transfer window. I rated the players that you have recruited. I just don't think you've recruited enough of them. Since I've just come in, I think that when you mentioned the whole West Ham thing, if Ange had Tim Steidten caters towards the manager and the profiles that they would like, we would be like battling for top 6, top 4, whatever it is under Ange, because he has a Steidten above him to give him that facilities. With Tottenham, we know that Daniel Levy, no matter who he puts in charge just below him, it's still Daniel Levy that is going to restrict them a lot. Despite that, we have the same thing with our owner. Our owner doesn't go anywhere near the transfer dealings anymore. Your owner still does. The problem is he's been left at sea, like most Tottenham managers have. But with this Tottenham manager, you can see that there's more hope, because he actually gets the fans on side with the spirit of his football in general. Like you can actually at least say under Ange, they leave everything out there with how they play.
Exactly. It's not like when Mourinho, what's his name? What's his name? Nuno, right? The thing is, you guys used to lose games, and even on the Conte as well, right? You used to lose games, and it was like you guys raised the white flag. I feel like with some Tottenham fans, they're so bipolar. You understand what I'm saying, right? They are so bipolar in the way they handle things. They will sit there and say, "Oh, we want to see entertaining kind of football. We want to be entertained. We want to see a beautiful style of football." And then when they get it, they complain, "Oh, but we are too open. We're too this." And then when you get a manager who's defensive, "Oh, we're too defensive." It's like, bro, choose which one you want. You understand what I'm saying, right? And listen, at the end of the day, shout out to you, Jess, and even Jacob, because Jacob, last time I was actually in this channel, United Spurs of America. Make sure you go subscribe to United Spurs of America. And we were even talking about it, right? He's like, listen, at the end of the day, these fans, they are never satisfied. That's why sometimes you don't. There are certain fans you don't listen to them. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because no matter what
Yeah.
happens, they will always have something to complain about. You understand what I'm saying, right? And this is the
Yeah.
thing. I understand this. Listen, Spurs usually they're good. They just don't reach the final destination, right?
Yes.
And the difference is
Yes.
this. At the end of the day, Ange Postecoglou this season is in every single major competition, right? Yes, he's had surprising defeats. The game against Ipswich is the biggest example. People talk about the Galatasaray one, but listen, you went away to Galatasaray. Galatasaray are not.
That's not an easy. That's not an easy game.
easy.
A lot of teams don't. And look at this team as well. Like, look, it was clearly not even like meant to. We didn't. Which make I think that this is the only reason why it makes the Ipswich game worse. The only reason why they make the Ipswich game worse is because we rotated because we want to focus on Ipswich. But if we actually focus on Galatasaray, we could have actually gotten a result. But but like you mentioned, Galatasaray is not an easy game to go to and win, even with a strong lineup. But like you mentioned, we in all competition, we are just funny. We sixth place. Despite we have 6 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses, and we sixth place. Like I said, in this Premier League, you don't have to be great to be finishing in European spots. That's why I keep saying my composure. I've been calm this season. Like, yes, it's there been expires and losses, and then you maybe have rival fans laughing, but if people know me, like I don't get triggered by other people what they say about my football club, because I get more triggered by people who support my own football club. We support the same club, we seen the same shit, but then you say things that don't make sense to me. Like it's like I've seen people say we should suck Ange and get Eddie Howe or Potter, and I'm like, okay, we can bring in Eddie Howe and Potter. Then what is the expectation now? Then what's the expectation then now? Like
this fuck all, bro.
real and this is my problem. Like even the people who are unsure don't even make sense themselves, because I'm questioning, like, okay, we want unsure. What is the difference then? Do you believe we compete in the league title if a new manager comes in? Because I don't think so. But if this is what you believe, then you must be on the David Coote, bro. Like, and this has been a problem at Tottenham. Like, that's why last week when you asked me, Tottenham fans were don't believe in the Ange project. What is the project? What is the project? And that's why for me, I'm willing to sit here and say, you know what? I know this maybe sound a bit tin pot, but I'm willing to go through these phases, because at Tottenham, we have tried the big name manager, we tried the low key manager, and nothing worked. So clearly, we have to break what we have been doing the last few years, even if it means the result necessarily have been great. And look, man, like you said, Omar, we're still in all competitions. So let's see how these competitions go.
And you're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup against Manchester United. Listen,
United,
at home. Yeah, at home. Listen, at the end of the day, you can do a job against them. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's not
at the end of the day, at the end of the day.
One thing I will say, Vicario is up for
Yes,
months.
we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Of course.
Vicario's up for months. Fraser Forster, Anthony isn't signing a keeper in January.
This is a big conversation, because I want to go there. Vicario, this is obviously good thing is 6 to 10 weeks, they said, that he probably will take to recover from the surgery. But even then, Mikey Moore had a virus. Now they're saying he's still out for another month because he has to recover because it's a bad virus. Odegaard, he came back from his injury, had a setback and had the surgery, and he might not even come back till February. Jeez. These Tottenham physios, I don't know what they're doing, but they're killing my players right now. I need a whole new reset. I don't know what they're doing out there, but they're killing my players right now. And I'm scared for Vicario, because I'm scared, like, he can make a recovery, but knowing how things has been going this season, like, shit, he might even get a setback too. Like, Romero's out, Van der Vel is out. Like, when Arsenal fans were talking about injuries, or if City fans talking about injuries, this is injuries, because at least there's some certain level of quality within those teams. We have all these injuries, and then we have the lack of quality. It's a mess. Like, we will have to go the next games, possibly with Dragusin and Ben Davis as the centre back continuing on. Like, it's not great. And Vicario is a big one, because you could, even of course, that's my player of the season. You can at least firm it and say, you know what, put James Madison there in the 10.
Yeah.
Vicario is old. We're talking about Fraser Foster, Brendan Austin, and Alfie Whiteman. Like, forget even playing out of the back. What about the shot saving? Like Fraser Foster can't legit move. He can't move.
No, you can't.
He can't move. Like look at the goal that against Galatasaray, the first goal. Was it a banger of a goal? Hell yeah! But look at how long it took for Fraser to actually react to it. Like
Wow.
it's a big issue, and you know how important trust is in football between your players.
Yeah.
I don't think even if we have our backline fit, can that backline really and truly trust Fraser Foster and go?
No.
Especially the way we play football, the way we want to play out of the back. Like it's gonna be I'm saying this already, man. Like, and it's annoying because you just beat City, you go up against Roma, who hasn't been necessarily great, but
Yeah.
and then you go against Fulham. This was a week where I looked at it and said, if there's a time to build momentum, it's now. But then you get the Vicario injury, and I think it's some of our fan base has been disrespecting him for too much, in my opinion. So you know what? I'm kind of happy that he's injured because let's see. I want to see all these people that was shitting on Vicario this whole time. I want to see them on my time. I'm saying, Vicario, please come back. I want to see them. Like, yeah, because he's not good. He's not a good. He's not good at from corners. He's not good, and he's getting bullied a lot of times. But his passing isn't to the point where like, oh, you have to, or we 100% have to get a new goalkeeper because his passing is that bad. His shot stopping for me is top, not elite, but top.
Yeah, I hear it. But
So
yeah, very quickly.
nah, man. So yeah,
Right.
man.
Now I hear you. But listen, big up to you, Nick. So let's talk about City, man. Obviously, you guys saw the game yesterday, also, guys. Oh
Yeah.
my days,
Man.
bro.
Listen,
What is going on at Manchester City right now, guys?
you know what it is? I talked about this with like when we talk about Arsenal, for example, we sometimes we refer back to their transfer window and the fact that they didn't do good enough. Well, like, we can do that with Man City. My
Yeah.
problem is with Man
Oh,
City is
yeah.
that they don't prepare for all the scenarios because they are content with what they have because they feel like they can win the league with what they have. And I'd get that. And trust me, I get that to a big extent because Pep Guardiola is Pep Guardiola. He always manages to figure it out. But Rodri's injured now. And it isn't just because Rodri's injured, because we've been talking about their defense for a long time. Now, Akanji was decent last season, one of their better defenders.
Yeah, but he's been awful this
Like
season.
he's been awful. He's been awful. Ruben
Awful.
Diaz has been good in 2 years. John Stones is barely fit. And when he does play, he's decent. But even for the Tottenham game, he wasn't.
Guardiola
And,
has
like,
been okay,
he never
but
go-
even he's prone to mistakes as well.
yeah, and also like Nathan Ake is probably the only like consistent, competent one you could probably say. And like but they even said yesterday when they even took Ake off thinking he already won the game, and then we saw what happened when he made that triple substitution. Like the problem is with Pep now, you've got to figure it out whilst you're not even anywhere near January at this current moment in time. Your midfield is completely unbalanced. You've got to actually you almost got to experiment a little bit more to figure out something because what you're doing right now isn't working. Like at times against Tottenham, I didn't know who was playing where at times. But whether it was Lewis or Gundogan in midfield or Bernardo Silva, everyone was kind of just running around almost. It kind of like everyone was running around in different spaces. Gundogan, when he's come back, has looked absolutely awful. I'm sorry, but this remontada is not a remontada, bro. I can't say what I was about to say, but it is nuts,
never
man.
go back, bro.
Like, listen, never go back to your ex. I think we all know that for sure. We all know that lesson in
Yeah,
life.
yes,
Never go
yes.
back. When it goes bad, never go back. And you can say that with Man City and Gundogan. Legit. Like when you just end stuff on a high. End stuff on a high. You don't need to come back. I get it.
Well, you won the treble, man. Like that was literally the perfect time. You could have just
that was the perfect time to leave. And this is the thing, though. Also, wingers. Grealish has barely played this season. Doku ain't it. Savio is still settling in. Savio is still settling in. Oscar Bob is injured. Who are your winger options?
He's out for the season, basically.
It is not 2018. You can't put Bernardo Silva on the wing anymore. You can't put Bernardo Silva on the wing anymore. Every time this guy starts dribbling or starts going sideways, I've never seen a man get tackled so much at Man City.
No,
I've never seen a man lose the ball so much.
You know what it is? It's because he's been. I've already said this. I was actually on Northside's channel earlier today, right? And we said this, right? Where I was talking about Bernardo Silva basically wanting to leave City for a very long time. And this is the thing, bro. Pep has kept this guy for too long. He should have capitalized and got rid of this dude the moment he knew that his head was no longer at the club. And that's the thing with Bernardo Silva, bro. His mind has not been at the club for a while now. You understand what I'm saying? He's wanted to go to Barcelona. Like, he's never hidden the fact that he wants to move to Spain and join us. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Try a new thing. And at the end of the day, he didn't get that opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And now you're looking at it now. He looks like he can't even be asked anymore. Like, even for Portugal, even Nossa was telling me, like, he's saying even for Portugal, he's not been doing well for them either. So it's not even a City thing. It's just him in general. He's been very, very poor. And you just mentioned it, right? This is the thing for me. Before I let you go, Jess, right? This is what I do want to say. You see, when it comes to my honest opinion on City, I think the City now, they have gotten to a point now where this team has reached their peak.
Yeah,
this squad, they have reached their peak. This is the highest they're gonna go. It's time to start moving all of these players on, all of them. Like, I'm gonna be real, every one of them has to go, right? Or maybe 90% or 80% of the squad, right? Bernardo Silva should be sold. Akanji should go. Ruben Diaz doesn't look the same. He needs to go. What's his name? John Stones is unfit. You know, I don't know. Edison, he looks like his mind is in Saudi. Get rid of him. You understand what I'm saying? Gundogan, get rid of him. He's not the same. You understand what I'm saying? There's a reason why Barcelona, I'm looking at it now, I'm like, bro, I'm sure this is why Barcelona were happy to let go of him. You understand what I'm saying? Because they knew that he wasn't going to be in this season for us. You understand what I'm saying? Bernardo Silva, they need to get rid of him. Doku, get him out. That guy is awful, bro. Awful. That guy's been there for 2 seasons and has made zero improvement, right? Savio, I would give him more time because I do believe that he's still a good player. He just needs to learn his finishing. You understand what I'm saying, right? And also, what's his name? Grealish also needs to go for the sake of his career. He needs to leave to the City because I've said this, bro. Pep Guardiola kills ballers. I'm a Barcelona fan. I will tell you this, bro. Apart from Lionel Messi, any baller that's ever been around Pep has never reached another level. Look at it. Remember, Jess, do you remember Mario Götze? You understand what I'm saying? Mario Götze for Dortmund. Mario Götze for Dortmund was one of the coldest players in Europe, bro.
Stifled him.
Oh, man, that guy was so good. And then he went to Bayern Munich under Pep, and then Pep ruined this kid, bro. I swear, bro, when I was young, Jess, he was my favorite player at Dortmund. I used to remember playing career mode, right? FIFA 12, FIFA 13. Played Dortmund because of Götze and Royce and Lewandowski.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And then he went to and then he went to Bayern under Pep. Oh my days. And then Pep just kept on stifling this kid, not giving him chances, playing him out of position, doing all this stuff until eventually, bro, he had to leave Bayern, bro. And this is the same thing. Foden sometimes he shows his worth sometimes, but sometimes this guy stifles him. Grealish is another one. Grealish, when he was at Aston Villa, was an absolute baller. I remember Tottenham were trying to sign him. If you were to imagine Grealish at Tottenham, bro, he would have been killing it over there because he would have been given all the freedom to do whatever he wants, right? But under Pep doesn't give freedom to players. The only player he's ever given freedom to is Messi. Messi is the only footballer.
And even then, Mark's like, because we discussed it yesterday, obviously, but Messi is Messi. Like, no manager's going to Messi and tell you, okay, I need you to be standing on the touchline, and then when this player makes this movement, you don't tell that to Messi, you don't tell it to Neymar, you don't tell it to Suarez.
Yeah.
What Pep is going to do is he's just going to organize his midfield and he's going to organize the defense. The attack, you guys just do you because this whole intelligence those players well. But at City, you said it, it's the overcoaching with him. It's the overcoaching of you need to do this, you need to do that, and how rigid it is. People talk about how his system at times is rigid, but at least there is some sort of level of freedom to allow players to express themselves when needed to. But Pep, and one of the biggest issue, like obviously talking about this City rebuild was needed for time. Actually, it's not just this season, but because what do I say? Winning keeps people happy. When you win, nobody cares. Nobody cares when you win, and City keep winning, but then felt like I think they got comfortable. I think they got comfortable and felt like I think what City have one of the oldest teams in the league now.
Yeah.
I think that, and in terms of the average age, is one up there in the oldest. And KDB is not the same KDB from 2 seasons ago. Kyle Walker has been finished. John Stone's been picking up injuries. It's not something new. Aki been picking up injury. That's not something new. Akanji, good player, but I watched him at Dortmund. I think the reason why he's been so great at City is because of the quality around him. But now this quality is falling apart. I can't look at Akanji now and say, let's talk about the attackers. Doku, I don't rate Doku, but I feel sorry for Doku because City look at Doku and said, yo, go and help us win these football matches. I feel sorry for Savio because City is telling them, Savio, come in. Savio is not known as a goal scorer. He can create. He's a creator. He can score goals, but he's not known as a goal scorer. Foden is supposed to be the goal scorer, but then Pep just tries to do this and put him there, and then put him on the right, and put him on the left, and then put him through the middle. So you don't even have a position there. Haaland, if City generally can't make top four if Haaland get a long-term injury, because where the hell do they then get a golden? That's what I'm saying. Haaland gets criticized, and rightfully so. But even with now I said this with Spurs, and Spurs against the prime example. If it wasn't Haaland scoring a goal and he missed chances, but Haaland can miss chances. It's not like Haaland is never going to miss chances. So if Haaland is missing chances, who is scoring goals?
Honestly,
but then again, your system is gotten to a point so bad where the players are just even off the ball, there's just so much wrong at City. Like on the ball, who's scoring the goals? Who's helping Haaland? Because do you know how easy it is? Like when you know it's only one guy that scores goals for them, do you know how easy it is to defend them all of a sudden? Because then you know if we mark this guy out of the game, the other guys ain't doing shit. And then off the ball, we already know how not lazy, but Haaland is necessarily not the most amazing presser off the ball. That's why I think when you were talking about Bernardo Silva, one of the main reasons why guys like Bernardo Silva have been kept is because they're willing to do the running as well as having a certain quality on the ball as well.
Yeah.
So it helps the KDBs, it helps the Haaland, who necessarily not going to be amazing at that. It helps them. But now that Bernardo is done out because he's been for so many years there, I don't even think it's the lack of he doesn't want to be at City anymore. I think it's just burned out.
Yeah.
How many years has he been at City? I think he's burned out. Gundogan is just gone. It's just not the same player. And Rodri with that injury now, you have to think about how that will now affect him just on his play. You can't expect Rodri to come back and then cover all the crowd again like he just did. Kovacic, we know that he's not a willing runner. Like we made a joke yesterday about it, but this Pep team could use him for Gallagher right now. And I'm not saying Gallagher in terms of they need to go and sign Gallagher, but guys who are willing to have not guys who have a certain quality on the ball, but willing to do the running for the better players who are necessarily created it, so they can focus on one thing. No Haaland, he has to worry about shit. I have to track back, I have to press, and I have to be the main goal scorer of this team, or this team doesn't score.
Yeah.
Then people talking about Ange Highline. What the fuck is Pep's Highline then?
Honestly,
it's a mess. It's a mess. Like the play. So not only is your press awful, not only can you not score, your defensive line is massively high and disorganized. You have to commit more bodies because you can't score. You can't then win. And when you lose ball, one of the important things when you play a Highland is the counter pressing. You need to be able to win the ball back. But because the legs are gone, you can't counter press. That's why the players, of course, need to do better. But overall, this team is just at a state where it needs refreshing badly. I'm talking about how they have to go then if they want to be City like we know City are, they have to go there and spend like 500, 600. They have to.
They have to, man. But this is the thing. Jess. They put themselves in a position because you know why? For years they kept on ignoring, where they kept on losing some of these key players like the Mahrez and all these players are not going out there and getting the suitable replacements for them, right? Yeah. They were just sitting there, just relaxing, thinking, yeah, listen.
And the issue is, and that's the issue because they did that, but they kept winning, so they felt okay. That's cool. We still winning. So as long as we keep, but now they're not winning. They don't look anything near like winning. Now it's a big talking point that everybody talks about. But this is why I say never get complacent in football, because if you stay complacent, this is what happens. And let's be honest, this will say That's what I say. I don't rate Doku for Manchester City, but I feel sorry for him because let's be honest, even somebody as good as Savio is, as good as
Mhm.
Savio is, as good as Grealish is, Grealish, 5 years ago, a
Mhm.
Grealish, a Doku, a Savio, they would be given the Cole Palmer minutes, the microwave minutes back then.
Yeah, yeah,
No, they
facts.
are the and no, they are meant to be the main guys for those teams, but they're not even main guys in their careers yet to begin
No,
with.
they're not. They're not.
They're not
And
so. This is over reliance, and even with Oscar Bob when he comes back, they're gonna ask Oscar Bob to be this main guy now.
yeah, savior complex. The joy
Yes.
is, I agree with the complacency thing, because let's be honest,
Mhm.
yeah, they've done well to break the records they've broken, and it's incredible, like the 4 in a row especially. But there's a reason
Mhm.
why people don't win 5 in a row. There's a reason why these records don't carry on for so long, because they get complacent with what they have. But this is the
Yeah.
problem with, also, you don't build on what you have. If you don't build on what you have, you're never going to keep breaking records. Like
And,
this
and, and
this Man City team looks so unenergized as well. Once you
yeah.
play games for like 4 competitions, and I get it, every footballer under the sun is now starting to complain about the games, but you got to prepare for every scenario. Like, also what you said earlier, Jez, about like they've got to sign runners and stuff like that. If you sign a runner to like like winning the ball back and stuff, the creative players can create, so everyone can focus on one thing. Everyone can focus on different things, so you can work as a team. You guys have got
Mhm.
a lot of technicians in midfield now, but you're getting run over. You're getting run over by every midfield, getting caught on a transition. And Man City were getting caught in transition anyway, don't get me wrong, but they had a ball winner. They had someone who was
Mhm.
willing to put their face on the floor all the time, just to block every shot. And listen to the thing, they have no spirit in their defending. In that treble season, they had that four centre backs, and Stones jumping into midfield, sometimes to Kanji, and Grealish and Bernardo Silva were just running their asses off down the wings. And even though they
Big
weren't
up City, man.
pacey, they were still technical to like retain the ball and keep the ball and stuff, and you wouldn't get the ball off them. And
Mhm.
but they don't even put pressure on the ball anymore. Like, without Grealish and Silva doing that since the treble season, you've kind of seen a bit of a mess within their system anyway. So there's no one's creating, no one's running like they usually are. And as we said about
Mhm.
the pressing, as I've complained about even West Ham doing this, where it's like no pressure on the ball, but you put a high line up there. Man City are doing the exact same thing. I haven't seen City suffocate a team with by pressing. Like, it was one of the Tottenham goals. I can't remember which one it was, but there was a point where it was about 8 Man City players in the corner, where you'd usually think, okay, they're going to suffocate the team down this side, and usually the team would lose the ball. But these teams like to play out now. So if you don't press aggressive enough, these teams are going to play throughout, and they're going to switch it to the next wing, and you get caught in transition again. There's no
Yeah.
spirit in the City side. And to be honest with you, in the summer you need to spend big. I know, again, you can't do this in January. I get it at times, but even then, get at least a midfielder.
Yeah,
Get at least
get a
four,
player where
and
you need player that you
get one more.
missing.
Yeah, one more defender. Get one more defender, because you've been getting
Basically,
defensive injuries.
sign one player that you desperately
Mm,
need in a certain
yeah.
area.
Yeah, because as much
Like,
as this attack is quite average for City standards, you can almost get the best out of what you have with everything behind you by keeping clean sheets, by doing the basics first. You can still get
mm,
goals in there. It's almost, even with Haaland being the top goal scorer, I still think he doesn't get enough service without De Bruyne. Funny enough, I
Mhm.
get the judgment of Haaland. Don't get me wrong. Like, Haaland's has certain deficiencies and stuff like that as well. But I almost think this guy is your best goal scorer. You don't even really play into his strengths that often. You're kind of just putting crosses in there for the sake of it. But as you said earlier, Jez, the defenders are kind of predicting where it's going to go. The defenders are planning for this. They stick two centre backs on one striker, and then everyone else doesn't really like win the second ball or anything. There is no direction for any of the other players around the middle to make
mm,
certain runs or anything like that. So when it does fall to a Foden, rarely to a small chance where it does fall to a Foden and De Bruyne, they have to finish that one chance, because all the other chances are going to go to Haaland. You only have
mhm.
one way of creating now that you have this big striker, and you're not even playing to his strengths. You just got to
Yeah.
go back to basics. That's where you got to sign like a defender, midfield in January, and just get the best out of what you have until the end of the season. Then refresh it in the summer.
Yeah. But
Yes.
listen, I do want to quickly go to the final one before we do wrap up, because we've been here now for a while. Listen, very quickly, guys, very quickly touch on this. Obviously, this past weekend it was Amorim's debut with Manchester United. They drew against Ipswich 1-1. Obviously Rashford scored the goal, and who scored for Ipswich again? I actually forgot.
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson, but it wasn't
Yeah.
on. It
Oh
was
yeah, oh,
technically
yeah.
an own goal. It was yeah,
Amari Hutchinson. Yeah, the former
Yeah,
yeah,
Arsenal youngster, Chelsea, Arsenal
yeah.
youngster. But
yeah.
here's the thing, right? What did you guys think of it? Did you, because I'll be honest with you, obviously, look, he's a new manager, first game, obviously, it's never going to be easy for to come into your new league, new setup, new players. These are not his players. At the end of the day, what did you think of the performance, and how do you guys think he's going to do for basically the rest of this season?
I
Personally,
think I personally don't think much is going to change for the rest of the season because, to be honest with you, I said this before he came in. They need more than just a manager. I would, I'm borderline. I would say that outside of the new signings that they have, apart from maybe Diogo Dallo and maybe Kobe Mainu, I wouldn't have put much hope in many of the existing players that are there. And the only reason why I even say Dallo is because he's playing a wing back. He might not get caught out as much as he's not in the back four anymore. Kobe Mainu's Kobe Mainu. And Amad Diallo as well. I'd say Amad Diallo as well. Amad Diallo was playing somewhat out of position and was better than the whole of the front three that performed on the day. Like Bruno Fernandes has put some cool passes in at times, but as usual, doesn't put in a consistent 90-minute performance. Rashford up front and Garnacho being Garnacho. Like I don't even need to discuss how terrible he is when he starts half the time now. Like genuinely, I outside of the new signings, because I'm gonna reserve judgment. Like their squad is genuinely so below par that they're not ready for what Amorim is actually needs to demand from the players for his system. Like I feel like for the rest of the season he's going to struggle to a certain extent because as much as he needs to get the best out of what he has and he is a coach, this squad is genuinely so overhyped and so awful and so like there's so much lack of technical ability within the side in general. There's so like so many lack of ideas. Like he'll get the best out of the Agates, he knows him. Like Delict's in a back three, cool, whatever. Like Lenny Yoro, we'll see how he comes back. Mazzarari is a very good signing in my opinion, and we'll see how he carries on. And putting him in a back three, smart move. I think that's the way he's pretty much going to play for most of the system. Like don't get me started on people like Rashford and Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw coming back and give it a rest. Honestly, it's 2024.
It's crazy how all of these players. It's crazy how all of these guys. I saw you, Jess. We were talking about in the Q&A yesterday with Flawless, right? It's crazy how all of these players, for some reason, right? All of them were all injured the whole season, and then all of a sudden Amorim just arrives, and all of a sudden everybody's just
everybody just everybody magically just appearing back.
Yeah, legit. Like even with like Mason Mount, for example, he said like Mason Mount's just come back. Amorim said he loves Mason Mount. In my opinion, if I'm a Man United fan looking at that, red flag. I don't care if it's 2 weeks in. That's a red flag right there.
Listen, you can't go around. You can't come in and just criticize it. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I will say this, right? I think that
he loves him.
Here's the thing. I think that when it comes down to it, personally, for me, I'll let you hold on, Jess. I'll be honest, right? I think that what he wants to do is basically just steady the ship for this season, right? He doesn't want everything to go crazy. Bring everything at peace, and so that in the summer he can just start clearing out everybody. You understand what I'm saying, right? And at the end of the day, yes, listen, he can say he lost Mason Mount and all of this. Listen, if he improves Mason Mount, the only ones who are going to benefit from this are United. You understand what I'm saying, right? So, can he improve them? Who knows?
But to an extent, even if he improves Mason Mount, let's say he improves all these players to the end of the season, everyone's going to be like, well, these players, this is the true quality of these players. No, it's not. No, it's not. Even if they go in a purple patch for the rest of the season,
they improve.
You need better. You need way better in nearly every position of some of the existing players that have been here before the start of this season. You need better. And he's not going to succeed unless he gets that better, in my opinion.
Not here. But Jess, very quickly, what did you think? Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
No, a lot of my sense, to be honest, is true. Just before I give my thoughts, obviously, let me put my 2 cents on the Mount thing. I'll be honest, I think the only reason why he made the Mount comments is because one thing you can't get Mount is that for this particular system that he plays, he does fit the 10 positions are probably the best even in their team, which probably says
I agree.
Which probably will tell you, which probably tells you just how bad the quality in the United team is, to be honest, that he is the best player. That's why I think he looks at from that perspective. And I think he also thinks about the fact that he did get one of his better seasons in a similar system under Tuchel as well. But I do even think once he sees Mount as well, I don't think he's necessarily going to look at Mount and say, this is my guy. I think it's just generally for this season where he has to look at him, to be honest, if I have to give a pound about thing. Because obviously I've been a massive Amorim fan. I think even before he made like the mainstream at Sporting,
Well, he was a
I've been
Braga. He
I've
was
been
doing his thing.
at Braga, yeah. Like I heard small things about him at Braga. It's actually a hilarious story because I think teams in Portugal tried to sue Braga because he didn't have the coaching budgets to be even the number one coach. So what they
Oh
did, yeah. So
wow.
what Braga did, they appointed him as an assistant manager, so they could get away with it. But everybody knew he's an actual manager. But
Oh,
to find a loophole, they just appointed him as an assistant manager. So
Oh
yeah, that
wow.
is.
th- yeah, and this is the funny part. But everybody knew he was. But everybody knows he's the actual manager. Like it's just that the actual assistant manager have to be on the sideline. All that. But it's funny, man. But it's funny. But he didn't have his coaching budgets. That's why it's crazy. But
Nah,
obviously, he
that's.
completes his coaching matches, then he becomes the manager. And I've been looking at Amorim for the longest. And
Mhm.
um, one thing I like about managers is yes, yes, it's important that you get results. Yes, but especially in teams where if I'm a believer that if you re, if you re, if you really want to succeed, do what you think you want to be as a manager.
Yeah.
Don't let it
Yeah,
be like a scenario where, like for example, Ten Hag for them last season, or even in the
fact.
first season, he
Hmm.
switched up completely because he lost 2 games, he saw pressure and switched up completely. For me, and I know Man United is a lot of pressure compared to
Hmm.
Sporting. He even said
Yeah.
himself how he hasn't done this much talking now compared to the last 3 years.
Hmm.
But one thing, like, I feel like the best managers believe in what they do. That's why I never criticize necessarily Ange for the way he wants to play football
Yeah,
because
because he's
this
yeah
is
he's got his.
it got him to the point where he's at. I don't criticize necessarily like I have issues with those managers the way they have their things, but this is what they got them to the point of where they are their careers. Wherever it's a club, wherever it's a Pep, wherever it's an Ange, Rebels Amrin, whatever. These managers
Mhm.
got to this point because they believed in what they're doing. And the fact that they've been coming into the first game, yes, they didn't get the result, but you have to put your authority down. If certain players don't fit the system, goodbye. This is what it should
Mm.
be. It's
Facts.
really
Yep.
what it should be like. That's why, obviously, when Flawless and obviously the Sheik were asking me about Amrin, I told them that Rashford, Garnacho, you can do with Bruno for maybe 1 2 seasons, but Garnacho and Rashford specifically,
Yeah,
it's
they
time
need
to
to
learn.
go,
It's
man. They're
time.
not
It's
Yeah.
time to learn. Like if you don't want to sit on the bench or you don't want to
Mhm.
start learning wing back, it's time to go. It's time
Yeah.
to go. Even Sirski, I like Sirski. I think he's a really good footballer, but the
Mhm.
United did a massive misprofiling because
But
now
yeah,
Amra's
but
asking.
Xerxes, I can give patience to Xerxes because
Yeah, because
Xerxes
he
is
obviously
very,
came.
very
He just
good.
came. He just came in. But
Yeah, he just came in,
I
but he's
talked.
also very good.
But I talked. But I talked about before. He is
Mm,
not. Amlin's system asks for intensity.
mm,
This is the worst player to have on your team because Sirski is not a player that wants to play aggressively passive
mm.
because he wants to play in his own tempo. And this is the worst type of player to have. Hoyland lacks just too much in his game, and I'm with Mike's in terms of um the qualities, especially in the attacking. Like people talk about our attack, but at least my manager makes it work. My manager makes it work.
Mm.
I think Amrin. One thing, Kuflo's been saying this, how let the attack be to a certain standard. But even now, I'm questioning though, even Flores, because even he's starting to question it. These attackers are really that bad.
Yeah.
They are really just that bad. So it's interesting to see how he's gonna work out. I think what Amrin has to do is get the base ready.
Mm.
Make sure that these wing backs for the rest of the season perform to a certain level. Make sure your back three perform to a certain level, and make sure the pivot performs to a certain level. If United still struggle to score goals, we all know the reason why. We all know
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
secret. But
Yep.
at least
Exactly.
make sure the base in the middle, the pivot and the defense is going to be solid, and make sure that the wing back do what you need the wing backs to be aggressive
Yeah.
because that attack need help. That attack need help. Like, and you see them already. They get linked to tens. They get linked to strikers. They just want Zurski to be a striker, and they're already linked to a new striker because they know that it needs more. It needs more. But look, I thought it was a good performance actually from United. Actually, I know that a lot of United fans they were a bit unhappy and try and say I'm around this. I see jokes already, but this is normal. Again, it's normal in the sport. But
Mhm.
I think the only thing that Amrin really has to be doing is that, of course, get results, trying to get United to European places. But most key important thing is
Mhm.
keep believing in what you want to believe, because I think that's already 50% done already as a manager. believe what you do, because the moment you go away because you see couple results not going your way, this is already for me. There've been signs of weakness for me when you go away from things that you believe in. It's a
No,
sign
yeah,
of weakness at
exactly.
times.
Because you're just showing that you can't handle the pressure. Now the pressure is so
Yeah.
hard on you that you have to change whatever your style
Yeah.
is. Yes, I completely rate it. But yeah, man, listen, guys. Obviously, I know it's late where you guys are. Obviously, over here in the US, it's like and it's almost like 7. It's like 7:45. It's already like 12, almost 1 a.m. over there in
Yeah,
UK
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Germany. But listen, yeah, guys, big up to everybody who's been here, guys. People who have been here, who are still here. Big up to every single one of you. Big up to my fellow guest of the True Ballers FC, obviously Mike's, obviously just big up to you. Listen, it's been an amazing stream, an amazing day. Like I said, beautiful day. Obviously, it's been the next day already, but today, Jess, before we do go, you guys play Roma today, at home. What's
Yeah.
your honest prediction of the score?
I don't know, because I can't say at the moment because I just don't know what type of lineup we're gonna go with, to be honest. And even
Uh,
now, Frost, if it's gonna be Foster and goal, I'll be honest, I just don't have any confidence in them.
mm,
I just don't have any confidence. So you know what? I say win. I say win because I usually don't predict my team to lose, regardless of how bad we are.
yeah,
So I say, and I do consider as well that Roma hasn't been great this season, but of course we have to date them against when they have a new manager bounce. So
yeah,
um,
absolutely, absolutely.
I say 2-1, 2-1 to the
All
Spurs.
right. I mean, you know what it is. I've seen them, man. Defensively, they're awful, man. It wouldn't surprise me if you win by even more. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, Mike's, you guys do go on this weekend. You're playing against Arsenal, obviously at home. Very quickly, man. Scoreline.
3-0 Arsenal probably. Like,
Damn!
you
No,
know
no,
me,
no.
bro. You know me by now, bro. You know me by now. I don't.
Yo,
I'm the opposite of Jez. I predict my team to not win all the time. So
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
no one can expect any different from me. I expected to draw with Ipswich and we beat them, so maybe that will
Yeah.
backfire. But I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I can be shameless for at least one weekend. That's all I
Mm.
want, man. Because trust me, if we win that game, you won't hear the end of it from me. I don't care if we
Oh,
play Leicester
bro,
in 2 days.
you would kill any hope for them left for a title, especially if Liverpool win. That would be the killer right there.
Ooh,
That
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 is,
would be like that. That right there, yeah.
and
bro, you're gonna see the most
Max.
generation.
Yeah, Max is gonna be shameless, man. He's gonna be like,
Bro,
yeah, man, we're the reason why you guys win the league.
yeah, bro, legit. Like, listen, Arsenal fans, listen, Lopetegui's West Ham. Don't lose to Lopetegui's West Ham to end your title hopes. Don't, because if you guys win, it's another day at the office for me. Legit, I
Mm,
don't care at this point. I legit don't care about this season. I don't care about this club. So
mm.
if you win, it's calm. But listen, don't lose to Lopetegui's West Ham because I'll go on a generational run of a fucking cooking. I promise you. I promise you. You don't want to
Yeah,
hear it from.
yeah, right. Yeah, listen. But listen, guys, we are gonna end up. We're gonna have to close out because yeah, it is late over there, guys. We're gonna be redirecting to Flawless's channel. He's doing the Manchester City, Manchester United show with Vader. Listen, guys, go out there and make sure you type out Omar BYT rate, and also hold that to Vader as well, guys. This has been an amazing stream, guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, ladies and gentlemen, and peace, you guys. Take care.
Peace.